Welcome to Make a Path Presents. I'm Ronnie Hayes, and today, for part of our daily dose of dead, we are going to be working on our predictions for the next episode of The Walking Dead Season 9. Now, this has to do with a couple things. First off, they released the opening minutes of episode 10, and right now it's not anywhere that I can see except for random YouTube channels are posting it on YouTube. So you want to search The Walking Dead opening minutes. I can't play it here. I'm going to show a little clip just to show you an example, but I can't play the whole thing here. It is like at least 2 minutes, I think. And it shows Lydia and Henry talking in a jail cell. Lydia's kind of talking about her mom and her past, and they show backstory, kind of as if Lydia's remembering back. There's another clip that showcases the Hilltop group looking for Luke and Alden, is searching for them. Again, I'll show you a little piece here, but I can't play them or else AMC will either block this and most likely the country you're watching from, or take it down altogether, and it's just a big headache. And then we also have images that they released for the episode. What you're looking at right now is one of those images. This is, in fact, and I'm actually surprised they released this straight up. I kind of feel like they're giving us too much. They're releasing way too much. Opening minutes here, a clip on Talking Dead, a trailer here. Speaking of which, I saw the trailer at the end of the episode for the next episode, and normally they throw that bitch right up on their YouTube channel, and I'm still waiting. I've been waiting all day because I don't want to just flood you guys with videos. I want to just combine them in one, and then there you go. But it's still not out yet. Knowing my luck, the moment I post this, it'll be out. So I don't know. Anyway, the images they got here, it's Alpha before. This is right around the first month where things started going bad. There's Alpha's husband, which is Lydia's dad, and this is little Lydia here. And then there's another image of Lydia's dad, and it looks like the survivors they're with. Now, something bad does happen because we do see his bloody fate in the opening minutes sneak peek. And here's Alpha by I wonder if this is on purpose, CPR for adults. And then we have Alpha and Lydia. Now, she looks like a caring, loving mother here, but comic fans know there's a dark side to how the Whisperers live, a really dark side. And then we got Alpha, Lydia's in the background, her dad. This looks like it connects to that scene that I just showed you before, this one. You see Alpha here. It looks like a reverse shot of whatever's going on here. They do a reverse shot and show it from Alpha listening to them make some type of plan. And then we have Alpha and her husband just talking amongst each other. We can see that they're in a small confined place because all the images seem to be right in this area. Alpha was leaning against this post here. This is that CPR poster. So it's going to be pretty desperate. This is an image of the Whisperers finding the hilltop, which comic book fans know this is a cool picture because this is one of the covers of the comic. Imagine if these two Whisperers moved over a little bit and they kind of were on each side of this clearing, one here and one here, and then the comic issue would just be this middle section here, looking into the hilltop. Pretty cool cover, and it's cool that they brought it to life in this little clip. We also have, you guys saw the character portraits of Michonne and then Judith. We also have our group looking over, most likely at the Whisperers. I would imagine this is closer to the end of the episode because they do seem to be building a bond between Lydia and Henry throughout this episode. But also, I think episode 11 deals with the trade. So this is likely towards the end, or at least that's what I'm thinking, when the Whisperers finally show up and Alpha confronts them. Now, connecting to the teaser we got, the new group, Magna and her new group, go out with Tara and them, and Tara doesn't want to stay out there. They return. And either they sneak out later, or they say no, and they don't go back, and they're going to continue looking for Luke and Alden. Not really sure where this part of the story is going to go because unless I have it wrong and this comes after this moment, because before. Yeah, you know what? That doesn't make any sense. This would have to come before that moment. And what would they be doing? They would just be looking and not finding them? I don't know now. That little bit kind of confuses me, because in the clip we get, this is them finding the horses that Alden and Luke were on. And they kind of could estimate that it wasn't just one walker that took the horses down. It wasn't just one whisperer that took the horses down. It was a group of them. So Tara realizes Lydia's a liar. It's not just Lydia's mom out there alone. And Tara does a really good scene, I gotta say. It's a small moment, but it's a really good performance here. And then this is where they say, well, what if, what if we don't figure out what's going on? Tara just says we will, and they go back inside. The other clip here is a little longer. This is the opening minutes. And then it just showcases the dad being totally desperate and frustrated, not convinced at all that help is coming. And it seems like they're at the end of their ropes. And then you can see Lydia and Henry kind of talking about it. And that's when it breaks into another flashback. And we don't see what happens, but something happens to her dad where he either gets shot or stabbed in the throat. And that's the end of him. But the clip shuts out, and Daryl is still there behind or outside the wall. And they even talked in the behind the scenes about that scene, and Daryl knew what he was doing. I know they hinted at it a little bit, but it was still kind of ambiguous. But Daryl knew what he was doing when he was flipping on Lydia. He knew that Henry would step up, and he knew that they would start talking. So what he did is he set the stage, and then he went outside and just started listening in. So that way he can kind of hear what's going on, and maybe Lydia can spill some information. So the coming episode, I would imagine it's going to fill us in on at least an introduction to what happened at the most desperate moment for Alpha and her daughter and her husband. Kind of similar to Fear the Walking Dead in season 4, where that villain, maybe almost too similar, where that villain shows up, crazy bitch, whoop-de-whoop, and then we see one of the episodes where it flashes back to early on, and it showcases one of her most desperate moments. We likely will get a little more, I would imagine, because if not, it's almost a retread of that exact, beat for beat what's going on. It is a little bit better that we're seeing it through flashbacks of Lydia remembering it, so that kind of helps it somewhat. Besides the backstory of the Whisperers, or Alpha and her daughter especially, it's likely that this episode will focus mainly on bringing those two characters of Lydia and Henry together, because if they're going to stick close to anything in the comic, that's going to be a high point for the episode, or an important priority for the episode, because Alpha's coming. She's got her 2 hostages, and she's going to show up. And if you don't connect those 2 characters, they're going to have to insert some type of heavy remix, or else I don't see where they're going to push the story forward at all. You know what I mean? Because in the comic, you had Carl and Lydia. They built up some type of bond, got to know each other. In the comic, it was a good amount of time. Now, they can be throwing us for a loop here, and we think they're going to come and do the trade right away, and it's remixed to where they show up and there is no trade, and this, that, and a third, and then it takes all of episode 11 as well, or maybe even into episode 12 to do the trade-off, and then that's where Henry goes out with them, and the story slowly unravels from that point on. But I would imagine they got to really get in there and focus on that story, because that's what's going to catapult the story forward, as far as those 2 characters are essential to keep the connection between the Whisperers and the survivors. And Lydia did say one key hint when Daryl put a knife up to her face. She said, listen, you are always going to die. I mean, that's just what we do. Other people are a threat to us, no matter where you're at. And that's territorial. It's about resources. It's a number of different things. It could be just not trusting them. You know what I mean? So I'll probably talk about the trailer whenever it gets released. I'll try to, I don't know, man. I'll try to find that somehow. I had a place on Facebook that someone posted it, and by the time I got over there, it got taken down already. So if anyone knows where I can watch the trailer that they showed after the episode, holla at your boy. Other than that, I'm going to try my best to get another gameplay for Telltale's The Walking Dead. We're trying to complete Clementine's story. And then remember, in March, if we stay on track, we should be starting up the Deeper Intos again. I'm so excited to get those rolling out. But we got to stay on track here. I don't want to get ahead of myself and start putting them out too early, because then we're going to fall behind schedule and it's going to be a jumbled mess. So we got to stay on track with what we're doing. But I hope you guys are excited for that to come around. It's close. It's right around the corner. But thoughts and opinions about everything that we got so far, put them down in the comment box. I'm done talking. It's your turn.